Mhm.
In doing that, like, do you get a lot of advanced reader copies? And then when it comes to that, like, how do you gauge, like, all right, I need to, sell this one? I guess not sell, but rather share this one out to the world versus like, I'm getting bombarded with just requests every week.
Yeah, it's definitely the last one. I mean, that's one next to my lovely Timothy cut out is my that's one pile. I've got another four on the floor. It's literally 200 books, and that's not including e-arcs or audio arcs. And it's insane. It's really like reached a point where I'm like, I think I have a problem. Um, I think one thing I've learned, like at first, when I started to get accepted onto all of this stuff, I was like, take anything. I'll literally take anything. And then now that it's getting to this point, I'm a bit like, okay, slow down. And I've learned to say no. Like you can say no. You know, books are going to be around forever, and even if you don't get them free forever, you will always have access to them one way or another. Like there's certain sites where you can always get them for free. And so it's like I'm not I don't want to do it out of fear anymore. Like I don't want to do that anymore. And also I can't keep up. I physically cannot keep up. And I think with like sharing it, it's also really hard because I've got so many. I don't have the time to read all that right now. But the good thing is that some of them, I would say a good majority of them actually get sent to me just because, and like they don't actually want me to like, they don't need me to like avidly post about it. Whereas some have they're so strict. They're like, today this review is due, you need to post by today. I'm like, dude, you're not paying me, like please, like I can't read at that at that pace. And also like they're very aware that because we're on their list, they're aware that we're on other lists, which means we get books from all those other lists. So they're aware that we get other deadlines. And it's like, you need to chill out. Like, please chill out. And it's something that I've just learned to turn around and say, I don't read that fast. You know, I'll post when I post. And also, if you want a dedicated post by this time, that's fine, but you'll have to know that it may not be a review because I may not have finished it. So it will be like the blurb and like what I'm thinking going into reading it. So it will be a different angle. And I think they've just accepted that at this point because I think everyone's seen my piles of books and it's just crazy. But yeah, like learning to say no in general is really big, and in this space as an influencer is really important. And I think like someone sent me like loads of audio arcs that I could download, and I didn't download one because I was like, none of these feel like they're for me. Like I don't feel like I want to read any of them. So I'll pass this month, then we'll see next month on your new arcs. So I think it's just, you know what you like to read, you know what you like. So just do what you like to read. And if it comes with free arcs and it comes with posting and it comes with PR, great, it's a bonus.
Yeah, have you seen the movie The Other Guys?
Yes, I have.
All right, so when you're talking, it reminded me of that one scene where that guy Urshan keeps giving them free stuff, and the first time you get it, you're just like super hyped. You're like, oh wow, we're going here. The second
Yeah.
time, you're like, wow, even better, we're going to the play. Third time, you're like, this is getting a little overwhelming. And I think sometimes with the advanced reader arc, it feels like that in the sense of like you don't want to say no because you're like, wow, I can't believe this publisher is sending me little,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes like little old me is getting this book and it's advanced and you
Yeah.
don't want to say no. But then on the back end, you have to realize that again, you're doing a lot of work for them.
Well,
No
and
matter
for
what, it's like
free.
you're still doing it for a company that has the resources to give influencers their
Mm-hmm.
share. Like I was talking to Sarah Hildreth from Fiction Matters, and she had a really good idea about how influencers could get paid. Where it's like, hey, we know that these 60 books are coming out in the first quarter of the year. You can do. It's kind of like she said the Sephora method, where you can pick from that list of the books you are actually interested in reviewing. You review those books, and then they give you a stipend or whatever. I think that makes a lot of sense for
Oh,
creators,
for sure.
especially for what you do. I think if you could set up those deals for your influencer, I think that
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense, and it opens it back up to content creators having a space to monetize in this space. Otherwise, they'll keep And I just think that's the way you'll keep getting. I don't use the word exploited, but whatever you want to call it over
Yeah.
time in this space.
For sure, I completely agree. And I also think some people, not me, but some people are afraid that once they are on those lists and get those arcs, that they have to give good reviews. And I think, like, I'm someone who's like, nah, I hated that. Burn it, like, throw it away. And the thing is what I've learned from that as well is that they don't get turned off from giving you books. They don't. So there's nothing to worry about. It's just your reading taste. They're literally in this industry. They are so aware that people have different tastes and different like things they enjoy. So it's really important to like you said, have that monetization, but also be authentic and just read what you want to read. And if you don't like something, it's okay to say you don't like it. It's a book. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I actually think it's even more what you're saying. I think it's important to say when you don't like a book
Yeah.
because again, people follow Mia for her taste, right? So
Mhm.
you may say I don't like this book, but when you explain it, people are like, "Wow, that sounds exactly like the book I want to read next." So
Exactly.
you kind of saying I didn't like this book might be what opens up someone to go down that path and explore that
Exactly.
book in a different way.
Exactly. I've had that with a friend of mine who's quite big on Bookstagram, where I was like, I got this arc, I hated it. And she's like, that's my favorite author. And I was like, oh God. But like when we post about it, it's not like oh, you hate this person, I love this person. It's like a funny thing of like, our tastes are quite different. And I love that. And that's really cool. And we can have intellectual conversations over it.
Yeah, and I think we do the same thing with movies or music. Like if I say I don't like a band, it's might be because hey, this sound or this whatever, you might critique it from there. Or if you're watching a movie, you're like, hey, that third act close was very interesting. I don't know if I agreed with it. But I think
Yeah,
the more we have those honest conversations with the books we read, it gives the genre space to have, more unique conversations and depth as
exactly.
well.
Yeah. And I feel like we do have those conversations about movies and music because we don't have niche communities the way we do with books.
Yeah.
I think there's less of a preciousness about it. And even being, I'm a film degree grad, so I'm so judgmental when it comes to movies, like really, really judgmental. But I feel like I can have those conversations really easily, where I think people are more afraid in the book space to do that.
No, I think that's well said.
If you enjoyed that clip, make sure you head over to www.bookupapp.com to download our app so you can connect with your favorite bookish content creators, start conversations, and start your own book club.